Welcome into the Daily Dish. Jeremy Werner, Derek Piper. Let's talk some NBA draft. Kofi Cockburn on Thursday. We're all wondering, does he get drafted? He's a two-time All-American. How can one not get drafted? But finish this line for me. Kofi Cockburn on Thursday will blank.
Be waiting to see where he plays because he will be an undrafted free agent. That's my read. I'll go with some of these experts that are doing the mock drafts. I'm still not seeing his name. And while I do think he did some good things at the NBA Combine with his rebounding, particularly on the offensive glass, his interior scoring, which after the first day got a lot more efficient because he didn't shoot a very good percentage. It's just the questions with the defense and defending in space. And I don't worry as much about him shooting threes because I don't think anybody in the NBA wants him to shoot threes.
Right.
I don't think anybody cares to see him shoot too many mid-range jumpers. You know, sometimes when he clears out for a guard to drive and they hit it to him for a baseline, if he's wide open, I think he can hit that or try to add that to his game. But you're just going to have, as the game continues to mold to this 5-out positionless. I mean, you look at the Warriors playing small ball with Draymond and a lot of teams embracing that. It's going to be some teams that don't want anything to do with Kofi. I think there will be some that are intrigued by him and will be willing to roll the dice. I think he will get an opportunity, hopefully a two-way, so it's lucrative for him and he gets a chance to play and make an NBA roster. But I don't know. I hope he gets that moment. I think that that's what you root for the most is just being able to hear his name called and have that whole deal for him. But I know some around even the Illinois program are saying it might be better if he goes undrafted. He can be a little bit of a pick and choose on what's the best opportunity for him in terms of signing a deal and going to a summer league and training camp.
Yeah, like as a Bulls fan, I'm sitting there going like, hey, Mark Williams or Walker Kessler, people are, and it's kind of like drafting a running back in the first round nowadays with centers. So I sit there and look and I'm like, you can get Christian Coloco in the second round. You can get Jalen Williams in the second round. And I even think of free agents, Derek, and those guys are all obviously quicker than Kofi and can, hedge ball screens better than Kofi and attack things like that. Like I even think of a guy like Marcus Bingham, who Kofi can dominate in the Big Ten, right? No question. But that's probably a guy who's got a better chance in the NBA because he's long, he's quicker, he can protect the rim, but he can also shoot it a little bit. Like that's where the NBA has gone. So I love watching Kofi Cockburn. It's just he's the weird guy, kind of like Drew Timme. Drew Timme wasn't going to get drafted, and he dominates college basketball. That's why I wasn't a surprise that Drew Timme, that the National Player of the Year, Oscar Tshiebwe, went back to college because they can make a bunch of money. Kofi decides to go the other way, and it was a little bit of a surprise to me because it's a gamble, but he's gambling on himself. So I hope he gets the two-way, and I would think there's one of 30 teams are willing to spend a two-way on this behemoth, right? Because there's still a use, whether it's a Andre Drummond or a Boban or whatever, for kind of this situational player, but it's just the ceiling isn't that high just because there's not a lot of guys like him in the NBA.
Yeah, definitely. I think he does deserve a chance. I think he will get one because of if he dominates in the areas that he is really good at, if he is able to be someone that if someone's going to go, slender 5-man, space the floor 5-man on offense, then throw it into Kofi. Not that you're going to run a ton of plays for him, but I think that, and also creating second chance opportunities for, we see the prolific shot making that is in the NBA. If Kofi can elevate your offensive rebounding percentage and get more of those guys shots, that's something that he can provide a value in. But yeah, some people just aren't going to want anything to do with him. But I think that he hopefully is going to be able to get a chance. And now it's just prove it because for as much as we talk about the fit, it was all like, I mean, there was evidence in college basketball. You're going to, run pick and roll against Illinois. You're going to slice up Kofi or he's going to be a liability in some senses. But now it's go into that environment and prove yourself because there's been a lot of talk of you don't fit or all this stuff. Now go show they're wrong or they'll be right if ultimately you can't answer some of those questions.
Either way, Kofi will make a lot of money playing basketball, regardless of where it is. And I think one thing helping him is kind of his work ethic and his energy. I think those are two things that definitely work in his favor to potentially get one of those deals.